Basketball Hall of Famer Charles Barkley. Happy New Year, Charles.
Happy New Year, my brother.
Right back at you. Right back at you. You're the first person I thought of when I'm like, okay, who can I get to call in and maybe give some thoughts, remembrances of David Stern. When was the first time you ever crossed paths with the commissioner, Charles?
I think probably the night before the draft, he might have came by and said hello to us guys. But the first time I was spending the time, obviously when it's a big deal. You see even today when kids shake the commissioner's hands, it's a pretty cool thing. It's like you made it. Mm-hmm. When you walk across that stage and you shake the commissioner's hand and his sport, it's pretty cool. But obviously, I've been in the NBA over 30 years now, and I've had a lot of opportunities to spend time with Commissioner Stern. Most of it was really, really good. Some of it was really, really bad when I screwed up. But I tell people, other than Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, he's the most important person in NBA history. People forget, Rich, we've been living in the last few years where everything's been perfect and everybody's making a crap load of money. But, when he first got to the NBA, the average salary was $200,000. Now the average salary is over $7 million. I'm looking at some of these numbers that, it was $100 and some million business. Now it's a $5.5 billion business a year. And you go back to the Dream Team, all the TV deals, games not on tape delay anymore. You can't even put into words what this man meant to the entire NBA legacy. Because, like I say, we've been so profitable and so big for the last 30 years. People forget when he took over, it was considered a not a good league, drug-infested, too many black guys. And people, he took over this league and made it what it is today, which is amazing.
So when people talk about David Stern, the first thing that they mention is how he took the platform of the NBA, built it or helped shape it, and then handed it off to the players to be front and center. How did he do that, Charles, as a player that obviously wound up front and center like you?
Well, I think the main thing is, we're a little bit different in NFL. They always worry about the shield and, they don't want their players to step out. But he made the players, like I say, listen, I've said this now, and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird saved the NBA. They're the two most important players in history, and David maximized, put them in a position, put all us players in a position where we could make the most money. We make more money than any other athletes anywhere. I mean, you think about that. We make more money than any other sports franchise players in any other sport. And it's all guaranteed. And we got a great revenue sharing model that he came up with. He was the first guy to come up with drug policies. You can't put into words what he meant for the NBA. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And I came in with him my first year in 1984. Rich, I got to tell you a funny story. I'm playing for the 76, and I'm playing with Dr. J, Moses Malone, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney. I remember the first time an NBA player made $1 million. We were walking around high-fiving each other. I mean, that's how crazy, it was. We never thought a guy would be making $1 million. When Magic Johnson signed for 25 years for $25 million, me and Moses, Dr. J, and all those guys, Maurice and Andrew, and we're high-fiving each other because we could not believe that an NBA player could actually make $1 million. And look at where he left the league when he retired, and just look at it today. And, I mean, you can sit there and say, wow, he did a great job. Great is not a good enough word to describe what this man put all of us in position to where we got the greatest lives ever today.
And then obviously when things might have taken a turn, he was always front and center as well. And by a turn, you've mentioned Magic a few times. When Magic left the NBA because he was HIV positive and the way that Stern handled it, along with his return, you were right there again in the middle of all that. Can you walk me through how Stern handled everything and some of the issues that he handled in a manner that got the NBA and obviously Magic back together again?
I don't know all the parameters. I'm not going to act like I was in on those discussions. Just standing up for Magic, because, listen, nobody knew a lot about the AIDS virus back then. A lot of people were stupid. Thinking as long as you're in the same room with people or shake their hands, you can catch the virus, which is totally incorrect. And to embrace Magic, going back, the All-Star game, the Dream Team, it really took away the stigma of the AIDS virus. And it took somebody of his caliber to make that happen. But I will tell you this. I've been watching and reading for the last, obviously, 24 hours or more. And the one thing that came to my mind, you see that everybody talks about how stern he could be. He had the perfect right name, Stern.
Right.
But I've never heard one person, and I said this yesterday on NBA TV. I had to go meet with him when I screwed up probably 3 or 4 times. And, man, this dude, he make a grown man want to cry when he's yelling at you. But the one thing I've never heard anybody say is he never has done it publicly. Like, me and Ernie and the guys at TNT, like, he came down a few times and just chewed their ass up really good. But he always did it behind closed doors. Like, every time I screwed up, he got on me really, really good. But he always gave me a hug or shook my hand and said, son, you just got to do better. Grow up. And I've been watching everybody who said that, man, he was a tough boss. Yes, he was. But I've never heard somebody say he embarrassed them publicly, which is really one of the keys to being a great boss and a great leader. When you run a billion-dollar corporation, like I'm infatuated with Seahawks, and I've been watching those 2 movies the last couple of years, and, like, you got to be difficult and make difficult decisions when you, like, run a major corporation. But comparing David Stern to Steve Jobs, I know that's a little unfair, but David Stern I've never seen him acknowledge or get on somebody's case. And I've never heard anybody over the last few days talk about, yeah, he was tough. But I've never heard somebody say he embarrassed me publicly before, which is an amazing talent.
Well, take me inside the room where you and him sitting down, where he's getting on you, making you feel like maybe you wanted to cry. Walk me in there, Charles.
I thought my name was Charles Barkley, MF. Or SOB, and you sitting there, and he's yelling, and there's nothing. Like, first of all, I was wrong, so it ain't like I can fight back. And he's telling me about you can't do this, you can't do this. I know it happens, blah blah, and then that lasts an hour or less. Mm-hmm. And then he comes over and shakes your hand and gives you a hug and says, hey, this. And the thing he always said, this is over. I'm not going to bring it up again. You know how some people, when you screw up, they bring it up every time you do something wrong? Like, no, he says, these are all individual things. Mm-hmm. But he always gave me a hug and shook my hand. And every time I saw him, I always told him, the last time I saw him was at the NBA Hall of Fame ceremony. And I always tell him, I say, man, thank you for everything you did for me. Every single thing, because, Rich, if it wasn't for basketball, I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you I was going to be great academically. I'll have no idea what I would have did. Mm-hmm. But basketball has given me every single thing in my life. Every single thing in my life. And I love basketball for that reason. And like I say, I go back to when we were high-fiving each other when guys made $1 million. Now you got guys making $200, $300 million, and it's all because of Commissioner Stern.
Charles Barkley, a couple more minutes left with him here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what do you think is, obviously, that's a big lasting legacy for players, just in terms of what he was, as you said, as a guy who cared about players. Michael Ray Richardson said that the 3 strikes and you're out rule that sent him away from the league saved his life. I mean, that's the sort of stuff you hear about David Stern today. Charles?
Well, I think that I haven't heard anything but positives. And listen, like I say, yeah, he was a tough, demanding boss, but everybody who runs a major corporation has got to be a tough, demanding boss. But the difference is all these, I'm reading some of these condolences and Twitter things. It's nothing but respect and love for this man. Like, yeah, even though because there's times, I remember one time when we were on strike, and he came in, he says, hey, if you guys don't take this deal, we're not going to play basketball. And he said, we're not going to play basketball because we're going to get the TV money, and y'all are not going to play this year. So he says that, and I hear the guys. So we go back out, we meet, we like, oh, he's bluffing. Oh, he's bluffing. I said, well, this sounded like he was bluffing to me. So then we go on strike. So then we get together for we miss half the season. We get together and we say, hey, we're gonna take that deal. And you know what he said, Rich?
What?
Oh no. That was the deal I offered y'all 2 months ago before y'all screwed up my season. And you could have heard a pin drop in the room. He's like, oh, no. You're not going to get that deal anymore. That's the deal I offered y'all over the summer before y'all screwed up my damn season. And I'm just kind of like, this dude talking to us like, uh-oh, I think we are really screwed up right here. But, hey, it always worked out good for the owners and the players. I mean, like I say, if you look at all the sports, we are the highest paid. We got the best endorsements. And for him not turning the league over to the players, but letting the players be individuals and market themselves a certain way, we should all be thankful to Commissioner Stern.
Hey, Charles, before I let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you how you think the NFL playoffs are going to play out now that we start this weekend. Who do you like?
I think it's going to be one of the most fascinating. I think it's going to be one of the most fascinating playoffs ever.
I agree.
I think that it might be. It looks like it might be the end of the Patriots dynasty. I tell you what, how Lamar Jackson is going to handle his first real playoff run in the NFC, man. The Saints, the Packers, the San Francisco's been amazing to go into Seattle and win that game in a must-win situation because that's one of the toughest places to play.
No doubt.
You got Mahomes in Kansas City. I tell you what, this is going to be – I cannot wait to watch the playoffs this year. For the first time in a long time, I think it's really, truly up for grabs.
It is. It's wide open. I think any 12 can make a lasting imprint for much of January and certainly, obviously, some into February. But if you had to choose who winds up in Miami for the Super Bowl, AFC versus NFC, I'll ask for that. What do you got?
I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
Against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. That's some old. So you're not going any of the 1 seeds. You like the 2 seeds. You like that.
Well, I think that.
I love it.
I do. I just think, hey, listen, I think Aaron is amazing, and I think Patrick is amazing. And that's just, listen, I lost every playoff game last year, so I'm not one to ask for the come to bet.
No, I'm not saying that you're right, but that's entirely possible. I mean, that is beyond.
No, seriously. I lost every single game in the playoffs last year, so I'm scared this year. I actually might sit these playoffs out on gambling because I'm not even joking. I lost every single game in the playoffs last year.
Well, the minute you do that is the minute you're going to get them all right, Charles. I don't want to, put too much in your head right now, but that's entirely possible.
Hey, and you know I'm lying too, because listen, if there's a football game on, I'm probably gonna bet on it. But like I say, but I listen. This is gonna be fun to watch. I can't wait for Saturday night when everything gets started.
That's right, Charles. Thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. Happy New Year to you and yours. Love you, man. Thanks for the call.
Hey, love you too, brother. Hey, Happy New Year to everybody out there.
You got it. Thanks again. That's Charles Barkley.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.